with Ellie today. Ellie has a podcast show with her partner, and it's called Keep Me Sane.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you need to listen to a podcast named that? I have some guesses, but what is your podcast about?
Well, as the title gives away a wee bit, it's about keeping you sane. It's for midlife women, so you're not quite there.
Oh my God.
Because Julie and I, we both had high-powered careers, and then we moved countries, and we burned out, and then we became mums. And for 10 years, Julie lived in Australia, I'm here, and we've been helping each other over WhatsApp.
Oh my
through
God.
all our struggles, and it became a lifeline for one another. So other women struggling, and we said, okay, let's do this, help other people.
Oh my
women,
God,
keep them sane.
that is so nice of you, because these are like so valuable things to, like share with other people, because like you yourself have been through that, through those times. And as fabulous as it sounds, like being around the world, being a mom, I know that it has like a lot of struggles too, right?
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I actually did it on my own with a child.
Oh my God.
I moved to Bali and Spain, and it was difficult.
You're so strong.
Thank you.
I need to listen to your podcast.
Thank
I really
you.
need to. I'm in my 30s.
Oh, you don't look it. I'm not 20s, honestly.
Thank you so much.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So I do think that I need some advice from you.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Sure, you can teach me lots as
oh
well.
Oh my
though.
God. You're so like Ellie is so sweet, and I am so glad that we met. Thank you so
lovely to
much.
meet you.
Thank you so
you.
much. You keep me sane. You guys can listen to it both for keeping yourselves sane and also for English as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you can use that as a listening material, and also on top of that for life advice.
Absolutely. Right place to come.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Ellie. It was a pleasure
Thank you to you, Tila.
to have you here. Hello, guys. We're back again. This time, Julie is with us. Like we were talking about You Keep Me Sane podcast. I am very intrigued about that because I heard some, the insights of the podcast from Ellie.
Alen.
Yes, I struggle with the pronunciation. I'm so
Because you
sorry.
got a great accent.
First of all, how are you?
I'm good. A little tired. It's a
Yeah.
long day here, right?
Oh, yeah. So you've been here since the morning.
8 o'clock. We
Yeah,
came at 8 o'clock.
yeah, perfect. Okay. My question for you is, what is your favorite thing about you guys' podcast? How do you think it helps women or people in general?
So my favorite thing actually is spending time with Aileen because I get to chat to her.
That's so cute. That is so cute.
Yeah. But actually, I think it's also just the ability to be honest about life. And because I
Exactly.
think that makes other people feel like they can be honest about life, right?
Yes,
And that it's
also they do not feel alone. They see that other people go through things too, because especially nowadays with social media and everything is picture perfect.
Yes.
Everybody's lives seem like everybody got their things together,
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like that, but
Yeah.
in the background,
It's not perfect, especially at our age with the kids,
yes. By the way, I respect that a lot.
It's hectic.
Only with, traveling alone as a woman myself, I cannot imagine on top of that having kids. Oh my God. You guys are so strong. Really, respect.
But we're all strong, You don't know how strong you are until you have to do something,
my
right?
God,
So
that
you will be the same.
That
you
is
would.
so inspiring. I am definitely listening to your podcast starting from tonight.
Tune in. Please tune in. And come and chat with us. We'll organize it when we get back to Australia. Come and chat with us. We'll hook you in.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you here.
My pleasure.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are
Yes,
you?
So excited to have you guys in London.
Exactly.
This is home. This is London.
I love London so much.
I'm
Thank
so
you
happy
so
you guys
much.
have made it here, and so happy to see my partners.
Amazing. Yeah. Up until today, I didn't know that he lived here. And I'm like, oh my God.
He's a
I'm
London
jealous.
boy. He's a London boy.
Londoner.
Yes.
Yes. Amazing. So, what do you think about the event today?
So fun. This is crazy. I mean, there's so much to learn about podcasting. YouTube, we talk a lot about podcasts and how do we get creators to do podcasts, but there's a huge world behind us,
Exactly.
So I'm still learning.
I
Amazing.
didn't know that it was like this, loaded up until today,
Crazy.
Because it's crazy. It's all the equipment, all the people coming
The
from all around the world.
technology that
Oh my
exists for
God.
podcasting is insane.
It's mind-blowing, honestly. I am so glad that we have this because I don't know if you remember, but I don't remember podcasts being this popular. It was just YouTube.
I mean, YouTube made it. YouTube made it popular.
Oopsies.
People were listening to podcasts. I mean, we all were. And then you put a video on it and it becomes a whole new thing.
Yeah.
On
What
YouTube.
is it? Videocast?
Videocast.
Videocast.
That's what we call it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it reaches to a larger audiences. They get to watch on different devices.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a new, different world now.
Yeah. Also, like, it's not like video, like watching a video. Like listening to a podcast for hours is possible because, like, let's say you're just doing your daily chores in the background, you can just play some podcasts.
It's multitasking.
Exactly, and it's also, you know, like very relieving to do that because, like, I don't know, like we can get a lot of things out of, you know, podcasts.
Yeah. I mean, it helps you with anxiety. It helps you to, like,
Definitely
learn new stuff, educational, inspirational. I watch like a lot of podcasts and like now I like actually watch them and you can see a lot of brand collaborations with podcasts, which is amazing. So it opened a lot more business opportunities for creators and the creator economy.
Especially about that, like being able to monetize the podcast. Thank you, YouTube.
Yes, YouTube. Let's go, YouTube.
Let's go, YouTube.
Right here.
Right there. So yeah, that's amazing.
Amazing. So happy to have you guys here. And
Thank you so
thank you,
much
Bubbleworks, for
thank
coming
you.
to London. And
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having us and thank you for giving us a tour in your fabulous office.
yes.
It was amazing,
Anytime,
guys. The
you're
food,
welcome.
the coffee is what keeps me, you know, like,
Yes.
which is not very convincing
I know,
because
I
I
know.
can't speak right now.
Well, we had to have our morning coffee, afternoon coffee to
definitely,
function properly,
definitely.
for sure.
Okay, thank you so much
Thanks,
for this.
Chilem.
Yeah, we will meet again. Welcome back, guys. This time I'm with Nell.
Hi.
Hello, Nell. Thank you so much for participating, first of all.
That's okay.
And how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's a great show. I'm originally from the UK, so coming back to London is always exciting.
Really?
Yeah, we're based in Berlin in Germany. So,
Really? Oh,
yes.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
By the way, your English is really, really good.
Oh, no, I am British. I'm
Oh,
just,
you're British.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
sorry,
just living
okay.
now.
I missed the point completely.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just saw in your corner that you make AI-powered audio.
Yes.
Yeah?
So essentially, we're a Berlin-based startup focusing on audio enhancement.
Yeah.
So this is a good kind of example. A lot of people want to create content in situations that are less than ideal, in big rooms with lots of room reverb, echo. So what we do is we allow anyone, any creator, podcaster, or anyone creating digital content to be able to do that with software. So after they either want to post-produce the content to make it sound better, or they want to use a real-time audio enhancement tool.
Oh,
so
that's really convenient. I'm sorry. Yeah, continue.
No, those are basically the services we offer. So yeah, our software is able to take audio recorded in environments that are less than ideal or with speakers that aren't as good as these ones and microphones
That's
and then turn it
amazing.
into good content.
That's amazing. So, like, anyone can, you know, like record a podcast then. Anyone that wants to, but they do not have the opportunities or the chances.
Yeah.
Or like the professional equipment. Did I get it right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's also, say, someone who is not like a sound engineer.
Yeah.
They know that something sounds off, but
Like
they can't
me.
fix it.
Like, I've been doing this for years and I have absolutely no idea. These guys are helping me with that. But yeah, that's great. That's great. Like, because like there might be a lot of people like passionate about podcasts, but they don't have the, you know, like the equipment or they don't have the, I said the same thing actually. Yeah.
Well, I think you'll also find that like a lot of great podcasts are filmed at like sporting events in
that's
outside.
right.
Maybe you're a fitness influencer and you're doing a video on the beach.
Yes.
And that's never going to have the ideal audio. So it's a situation in which you can create more ideal content for your viewers.
That's
because
amazing.
people aren't going to subscribe if they can't hear you. So that's
so you can just do that in variable contexts then, right?
Yeah.
Not only in a studio, but outside, but also it sounds like podcast too. That's amazing.
yeah. And it's also used by, say, broadcasters and people who are radio stations. Like we work with Radio France International and a few other customers like this.
Okay.
They want to be able to have the best quality content that's produced by their users that don't have this sound background.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Nell. It
No
was
worries.
so lovely to have you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
You too.
Hello, guys. We're back again. And this time I'm with Charles. Hello, Charles. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing very good. Very, very good. Yeah, thank you.
Today, I will ask you one or two questions about YouTube because Charles is a representative of YouTube podcasts around the UK and Ireland.
Yes,
that's
indeed.
amazing.
Yeah, mustn't forget about Ireland. We did an event there recently. Actually, a lot of really strong Irish creators and podcasters.
Really? I didn't know that. Actually, I'm so interested in Ireland as well. So it was like, I was so interested when I heard that you were a representative of Ireland as well.
Yeah.
So what would you tell us about the podcast around the UK and around Ireland? Because, we know, like, we kind of have an idea about Turkey, about the the UK, what would you tell us about the podcasts around here? Like what kind of podcasts are gaining the most interest?
It's a great question. I think what I'm seeing that's really interesting in the UK and a little bit globally, but definitely in the UK, is these like next generation production studios. So the podcasters now are not necessarily just setting up one podcast, but they're setting up like 14. And so you've got companies like Goalhanger, companies like Flight Studio, companies like High Performance or Overlap, which are building production houses, or the fellas, they're building warehouses with like 14 different podcasts within one warehouse.
Yeah.
And having like cameras and mics and setup that they can pivot around and super easily record like loads of different podcasts.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So you said that you also take care of the football teams or sports teams?
Yes.
Yeah. So how's that going?
Yeah, it's good. So I have about 7 or 8 Premier League teams.
Okay, that's really interesting.
One of the ones I look after is Liverpool, who just won the league. So they're very happy right now.
Amazing. Okay, congratulations.
Congratulations to Liverpool. So yeah, they just won the league. I used to look after like Manchester United, who just hit 10 million subscribers. So I think what's interesting is companies like the football clubs, like media companies, are now coming to YouTube with podcast or full episode content from other platforms and bringing that onto YouTube. Like ITV if you ever watch like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, they're bringing full episodes of that onto their YouTube channel now.
Oh my God.
Which is like a big change.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. Yeah, that's amazing. So the last question. I don't know if you have any idea about the podcast in Turkey, but maybe not. But
not so much.
But like what kind of a different aspect you can, give advice about, like.
So I think with podcasting, people overcomplicate and overthink like how to start a podcast or, having the perfect setup, having amazing microphones, having great cameras. So I think people obsess over too much worrying about super high production quality. And what you should actually think about is just getting the basics right.
Yeah.
So making sure your podcast has a good name and you give that name in for the actual podcast on YouTube as well as on the other platforms. I see people just call it episodes.
Yeah.
Or podcast, which is like...
That's right.
No one's going to be able to search if your podcast is called episodes. So things like that, making sure the podcast is in a podcast playlist on YouTube. If it's not in a podcast playlist, it's just not going to get discovered flat out.
Yeah, that's right.
You lose a lot of discoverability benefit. And then the third thing, and I think this is the hardest thing for people who are doing content or video content elsewhere, is the thumbnails and titles on YouTube are intrinsic to your success. And it's not just about making a good thumbnail or title, it's about making like a unique thumbnail for each video.
Exactly. Also, it should stand out because a ton of content right now on every platform. So for yours to be standing out, like you gotta do that. So that's really great advice.
And like unique ones for each episode. I think it's good to have a brand, it's good to have colors, it's good to have fonts that you use.
Yeah, that's right.
You want to make sure that each thumbnail looks different because from a viewer perspective, if they look at it and think, I've seen that one already, they're not going to watch your new video.
That's great advice for me as well as a podcaster. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sean. It was great to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Chilem. How are you?
I'm good, Cori. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a great couple of days.
Yeah, I saw her on the stage. By the way, welcome back, guys. This time I have Cori with me. She's working with YouTube and she was on the stage. I was actually listening to her. That's why I have some sort of questions for her because she is responsible for,
I work in product strategy and ops. So I lead Europe, Middle East, and Africa product growth around music and podcasts.
Turkey included, by the way.
Yeah, and Turkey's smashing it. So from a YouTube premium perspective, Turkey is one of our most favored markets because it's doing so well. So yeah.
Oh, it's in what sense?
In terms of number of subscribers that we have in Turkey versus other markets, the growth has been exponential.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because in Turkey, we love YouTube.
Great. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. We love creating content. We love, watching those videos and listening to those podcasts. It's quite a big deal in Turkey. So what kind of advice would you give to, podcasters or music producers in Turkey? So from the perspective of YouTube,
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is Charles, actually, I'll give a shout out. He did some do's and don'ts of how to run a podcast on YouTube. And I think the biggest thing is getting the basics right. So setting up a playlist because that helps drive discoverability.
Yeah, that's right.
Getting your thumbnails to be a really good, enticing snapshot of what you're going to be talking about in that episode. So those are some the basic hygiene elements. But I think the other part is always, and you think about this from a product development perspective as well, always think about your audience first. So it's so simple, but it's who are they? What are they doing with their day? What are they going to care about? And that will determine the type of content, even whether it's a short or a long form video or a live stream, that is going to inspire the type of content that you should be giving them.
Okay. By the way, I'm mentally taking notes because I'm a podcaster on YouTube
There
as
you go.
well.
So you're like, I'll take some notes
So
here.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So you were talking about short clips on the stage. So what about them? Because in terms of podcasts, I didn't know it. I just learned it. I just found out about it in the session. So what kind of advice would you give about that? Like, should we stick with the, like short clips a lot? Like, is it a big deal now?
Well, the way I would think about short clips is I think we can't ignore the era that we're in of short form video.
Attention span.
Attention spans are shorter, and there has been this rise of short form video. And there's multiple platforms that offer short form video, and obviously YouTube has Shorts is one of those. But I think what short form video does is it can be a discoverability driver for your longer form podcast. So it can give you a short little 15 to 90 seconds of what happens in the longer podcast, entice that user as like, oh my gosh, I want to see more of Çilem and what else she has to say. And so use that as almost a teaser clip. So one of the things that we're rolling out at YouTube that we talked about earlier today is a very easy ability to do this in YouTube Studio, where you can literally just highlight the words of that 15 seconds and immediately it'll create a short.
Oh my God.
So to make the production and editing part easier. Now, I have to be honest, that rolls out first in the US and exclusively in English, but as we get over the next 12 months, we will roll out to the additional markets and the additional languages after we work out those kinks.
Oh, that's a great sneak peek. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that insight. It was great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the notes that I've been taking.
Yeah, of course.
Actually. And it was so good. Thank you.
Perfect. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome back, you guys. This time I have Violin with me from Friends. Hello, Violin.
Hi.
How are you again?
Fine, and you?
Me too. Thank you so much. We've been chatting. And also Violin is from Soundcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. What is it that you guys do for content creators?
So basically, we monetize. We try to give podcast creator revenue. So we do monetization. We have a platform and we do connection between the podcast network usually with like the demand partner. So what we call demand is advertiser. So DSP is a bit technological and agencies from all over the world.
Oh, that's amazing. So brands and agencies, so you get them together kind of a thing.
So brand agency, and we make sure that they know the podcast world and they invest on podcasts.
That's right.
That bring you revenue.
Oh, that's really great for podcasters.
Exactly.
Because sometimes like you can do your podcast, you can start creating something, but you might not be able to find a way to, reach out to the brands or, agencies.
It's not your business. So you need to have people that know the business to reach those brands. And this is what we try to do.
Oh, that's amazing. What is a piece of advice that you would give for podcasters for better monetization?
I don't know, piece of advice, like concentrate on your content. Basically, make sure that you have great content, great audience, and then brand will connect with you through people that know the business. So I would say don't go to the brand directly. Don't try to just sell your podcast. Make sure that you are in a good podcast network.
Yeah, first of all,
Yeah, I think it's really important. The podcast network will do the job to find revenue and make sure that you can live from what you're doing, basically. A little bit like YouTube. Like people just create content, they are on YouTube, and then the brand connect to YouTube and make sure that you have revenue. It's the same system.
That's right.
Smaller, but it's the same system.
I see. So it's about the quality of your podcast and also what kind of community you're speaking to.
That makes sense.
It makes sense. That's some great advice. Thank you so much. Violin, it was really nice to meet you.
Same way.
Yeah. Thank you so much for, giving
Chatting.
chatting. Yeah, for your lovely chat. Thank you. Hello, guys. Welcome back. This time I'm with Fariba here. Hello,
Hi,
Fariba.
how are you guys?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Where are you from, first of all?
I'm coming from Istanbul,
Yeah.
but not originally. I'm originally from Afghanistan,
Okay.
but I've lived in Istanbul for a long time.
For a long time. I know. She speaks Turkish, guys. Merhaba.
A little bit. Merhaba.
Nasılsın?
İyiyim, teşekkürler. Siz nasılsın?
Ben de iyiyim. Çok teşekkürler. So you're a podcaster too?
Yes. Yeah. It's called On Spec Podcast. It's in English. We are in hiatus right now. We do deep dive investigations in Turkey and globally. So,
that's nice.
We hire local journalists. We train them in different parts of the world, from Russia to Zambia to Hong Kong. But we always have a Turkey story because we're based there. So we work with Turkish journalists. It's my favorite city in the world.
Oh, mine too, by the way. I love Istanbul. Yeah, I live in
Where?
Istanbul too.
Oh, good. Where?
Kadıköy.
Gerçekten.
Evet.
I'm in Üsküdar. So there you go.
It's really close.
We've come from the Asian side to London.
To London.
We meet in London. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's so cool. It is so cool. Okay, perfect.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for answering my question.
Sure. How do you like the podcast show here?
I love it. And I'm so proud to be here. And I am enjoying so much meeting a lot of people from all around the world, having the chance to interview them and getting a lot of different ideas from a lot of different people.
That's
so
great.
It's really great. What about you? Do you like it?
Yeah, my only complaint is that it's too noisy.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the issue with, this kind of events.
Yeah, they need to have some rooms to themselves. I mean, they do, but
yeah. Did you see the lunges?
Yeah, the lunges
upstairs.
are great.
Yeah,
those are better in your program. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, guys. This time I'm with Hugh from London, Brighton, actually. How are you, Hugh?
Lovely. Having a great time. Yeah. Fascinating to be here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, first of all, for participating, for accepting to participate in our interview. Hugh is from BBC. You can tell us what you do in the BBC. Yeah.
So I'm a commissioning editor, which means I buy programs, all kinds of factual programs, documentaries, podcasts for BBC Radio 4, which is the biggest news and speech station in the UK.
Exactly. So what is the podcast aspect of BBC?
Oh, well, we do so many different things. Hundreds and hundreds of things. Most of what I do is current affairs. So it's about the news, but trying to get deeper into the news, going behind the news, trying to understand it in different ways.
Okay, so news from around the world or only specifically from the UK?
Both.
Both. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. How long have you been doing this?
I've been a commissioning editor for about 2 years, but I've been working for the BBC since ancient history, since the time of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, oh my God. Thank you. So we have, obviously, BBC in Turkey too. I mean... Yeah, I myself follow the news on BBC.
Lovely. Lovely.
I really do love BBC so much. So I don't know if you have any ideas about, the Turkish market or the news in Turkey, what you do in terms of, Turkish context. Just no ideas?
It comes and goes from the news story. So sometimes Turkey is a very big news story. It depends on the politics, really. And I'm sorry to say, on natural disasters.
I know.
I think people in Britain
live in Istanbul, so yeah.
Of course, there's a very big Turkish community, especially in London, who I think are very interested. And I'm sure they listen to your podcasts, and I'm sure they watch Turkish news on the TV so on.
They do. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, participating. I really wanted to hear about, what you do in general, some insights from BBC if you would like to talk or give advice for, podcasters in general.
Well, I always think it's, I think everybody has access to a world that they know a lot about and they think everybody knows about it, but actually they don't. And they think, oh, this is common knowledge. Everybody knows about the thing I'm interested in. And so a lot of people have kind of really amazing secret information that's secret to that if they put out there, people will, wow, that's amazing. That's fascinating. So I think a lot of people have that and they don't know they've got it.
Yeah, I think so. It was great to have you here. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Lovely.
Hello, welcome back. I am with Kim right now. Hello, Kim. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. This is really exciting.
It is. It's really great because we've been interviewing lovely people like yourself, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. What is it that you do, Kim?
So I am a executive coach for consultants. So I work primarily with solo business owners who are in advisory-based roles. So coaches, consultants, that sort of thing. And I help them to essentially understand power dynamics from the perspective of being the only one in the room sometimes from their own sort of team.
Exactly, yeah.
Especially going into corporate spaces.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be a little bit strange when you're with a corporate company and you're the consultant they've invited in and you feel like a bit of a lone wolf, right?
Okay,
you're on your own.
I was going to tell you, what you're doing is a little bit different from the community here.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
So in terms of podcasting, what do you do and what can you tell, you can give some advice for podcasters from the business perspective?
Well, let me start by saying, caveat, I don't yet have a podcast. I don't have a podcast. Yeah. Walking through here, I've had so many people say to me, where's your podcast?
Yeah.
What's going on? And so ultimately, I've been working through, I guess, a few barriers in terms of starting a podcast, but I know now I definitely need one.
Yes, you do.
The primary reason is, and I was just talking to somebody about this, is this idea that once you've created this asset, it travels for miles.
Exactly. It
right?
does.
It goes on
It's
forever.
crazy,
so I'm used to creating, I've done some YouTube stuff and some social media stuff. I'm primarily on LinkedIn. But of course, with the podcast, it can be called up repeatedly.
Exactly.
And years from now, people can access my knowledge. So now I'm like, I'm sold.
Yeah, definitely. It's a huge deal. I myself am a podcaster.
Yes.
one day I was in this Turkish restaurant and I was just, minding my own business and having my kebab. And some guy from another table came up to me and he said, "When is the new episode of your podcast?" And I was like, "What?" Because I was not expecting that. As you said, like it travels miles and you do not expect some people to be, listening to that. That's crazy.
That's so awesome. Because I was saying, like, you come here and I'm like, I'm surrounded by podcasters and I imagine I listen to so many of them, but you don't automatically associate the face or the persona with the voice, right?
Yeah.
And so to be able to, especially you've got such a distinctive voice.
Yeah.
Which I know sounds amazing on a podcast. Yeah. So to have that travel and for somebody to then find you in an informal setting and be like, "When's the next one?"
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, okay, soon.
How often do you publish your podcast?
Every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I make videos originally.
Yeah.
The podcast was my last step for now.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is so cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome back, guys. This time I'm with Toby. Toby, you're from here?
I am.
You're from London. Oh, that's amazing. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for participating, first of all.
My pleasure.
Toby has a book. You want to talk about it?
Well, sure. So Narrow Podcasting is a book and the subtitle is Make Profitable Connections and Grow Your Business Without Paid Ads, Sponsors, or Thousands of Listeners.
That's interesting. So normally, what is it that you do? Like you're a writer?
No. So what I do really is I consult and I help business owners use podcasting to grow their business. And when they use the podcast first strategy, then they take care of all sorts of other things too. So if you record a conversation like this, it can be repurposed into the social media and all of the stuff that we're doing naturally. But my clients, healthcare professionals, a couple of former administrators of the US government, lawyers, therapists, other business coaches, and they use it for marketing. They use it for building relationships, and they also use it internally. So they use it for training and creating internal resources to keep in touch. So for small businesses like my friend Kimberly Medina, who you just had on, she would use it to build relationships and build her business in a very organic way, which is beautiful. My clients who work in healthcare who run $80 million a year businesses and have 20 locations across the US will use it to hire people, to train people, and to keep patients informed about what's going on and not to have to answer the same questions about radiotherapy or what have you in their voice. So they're listening to their doctor, telling them what's happening, but they're not on the phone answering the questions all the time. That's the kind of work I do.
Because I was going to come up with the question of I was going to say, so why did you write a book about podcasts? Now I got my answer, I guess, because it's a huge deal, right?
I wrote it because I was teaching this system and I came across the method. And frankly, I wanted to secure my IP. I think everyone was doing it. That book came out in 2022. It's an international bestseller. And I'm glad it came out when it did because it came out before ChatGPT. I wrote it. I wrote it. It's really helped me certainly secure higher end clients who, they don't want to read this book, but they know that I've written it, so they'll just hire me. So it's one of those things. I'm here talking at the world's biggest podcast show because it's another check. This guy gets asked to hire.
That's right.
This guy gets asked to speak at a podcast show. This guy gets has written the book on how to grow a business using a podcast. So that's kind of the yin to get famous, having a podcast. If that's the yang, this is the yin.
That's amazing. So as a person that has written a book on podcasting, how do you find this environment today?
I love it because I think ultimately communication is a human thing. We could be doing this on Zoom with cameras and it would be okay, but it wouldn't be as cool as this.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I mean, it would serve the purpose, but during especially COVID, we saw that it's not all the time enough, right?
Yeah, so being with people, you're reading additional bits of body language. There's other people walking past. In some ways, actually, it's a bit distracting, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But it's part of
human nature.
It's part of human nature. I don't want to be stuck in a room. We all had that for a few years.
Yes.
And it was kind of depressing.
It was. At first, it was like, yay, we get to stay at home. And then it was like, oh, please, I need to go out.
And I get to see my friends.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's great.
Exactly. So how can we reach and buy this book?
Sure. So it's available everywhere. The best place to go is narrowpodcasting.com. And on there, you'll find loads of free resources.
Oh, perfect.
I have profitable pod method skills sessions. And if you send me a note on LinkedIn, I'll send you anyone you want.
Perfect.
Or you can buy it for $2,000, but I'll send you any skill out of all my sessions for nothing. If you contact me, the book is all the links, narrowpodcasting.
Amazing. Narrowpodcasting.com. Thank you so much for participating today. It was really great. It was so nice to meet you.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you.
Cheers.